Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second of my three Insta Lives today. What do they call it? What do they call it?
Restaurant Live.
No, I know we call it Restaurant Live, but what did that other say? I'm on iLive or something?
Live Lounge.
Live Lounge? I don't know. Anyway, I'm
Your
asking
Restaurant
Donna.
Live,
I'm learning
darling.
about... Hello, everybody. I'm learning about... there's Theo Randall. He's joined.
Okay, great. So all we need to do...
He's joined, so I have to wait for you, Theo. Donna's just helping me at the minute.
I'm here, darling.
I'll have a
Don't
quick
you
slurp
worry,
while I
honey.
do it.
Have a slurp, honey. Okay. Not that I have my own job to do or anything like that. Don't you worry. Hazel. Hi, Hazel. How are you, love? Oh.
We'll connect you in a minute, Theo.
Well, Theo needs to ask, but
Oh,
or
Theo,
maybe
you need
we'll
to
ask,
ask
or
him,
maybe
right?
we'll ask him.
Okay.
Okay, so we can go on here and we can do it this way. We're gonna ask.
Okay. We're asking you.
Okay,
He
let's
might come
just
back in a
see.
minute. Here he is.
Here he is.
Hello.
There he is.
There's always a glass of champagne there, Bob.
Okay.
I'm doing really, really well. How are you? Donnie, can we
Yeah,
just turn up
good.
the Sedash you're able to or what?
You want to be turned up?
Just, can I be turned up a bit?
Okay, I can turn you up. I think. Oh, here the volume's here. The volume's here.
Where's the volume?
There you go. You happy?
That, a bit
Oh,
further. Oh,
that's
there we go.
like that.
No,
Sorry.
the other way.
There you
Okay,
go.
I'm there.
Happy?
I'm really happy. Theo,
Excellent.
how are you?
I'm good, yeah. I mean, keeping busy.
Nice to speak to you. Good to see you on Saturday Morning Kitchen the other day.
Thank you.
And what was that like, just before we get on to Young Chef, what was that like with your 2 meter sort of ruling?
It was quite interesting. I mean, I've done the show a lot, but there was only one chef on the show, so it wasn't too difficult.
Yeah.
And obviously you had Ollie Smith and the guest was, online. And it's a big studio, so it was fine. It was fine. It worked really well. And I think the thing is, you've got to really interact with the guest and Ollie and pretend they're in the studio, which is quite easy once you get going. And we do a full rehearsal beforehand, so it was fine. But I love doing the show. It's really good fun, and it's such a good atmosphere in there. And it was, it was so nice to do something that you normally do, and not feel sort of locked down and restricted. So I actually really loved it.
Well, that was good, and it was great to watch. Before we just get on, we're going to talk about Young Chef, Young Waiter, which is launched today. And I had Rich on earlier on, and it was lovely to hear from him about his amazing experience since. And he quoted you. I don't know whether you watched a bit of it earlier on, but he quoted you saying, this could change your life. And my goodness, it really has changed his life. From now working with Tom at Muse, and it's been an amazing sort of period for him. And he's very humble. He's doing a lot of work with the NHS right now. He's delivering, I don't know whether you saw a bit of it, but he's doing some delivering of...
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Around from the pharmacy, just delivering some prescriptions. That's really lovely. So, but we're in a very, very bizarre time. I don't know how many restaurants you have around the world, 3 or 4 or so. I'm not quite sure how many you have now.
Well, it's the tough question at the moment, isn't it? I've got 5. I've got 1 in Zurich, 1 in Bangkok, 1 in Hong Kong, and 2 in London. And obviously, actually the restaurant in Hong Kong has reopened, and we're operating on 50%, occupancy on that one. But it's working. It's working. It's breaking even, but it's going to take a long time for it to sort of really get back started. So at the moment, I'm kind of, working out and trying to work out plans of how we're going to do things in London when we get the all clear. But it seems like it might be quite a long way away. It's a nerve-wracking time, to say the least.
I think it is. I think with my restaurant association hat on, we're a little way away. We're speaking regularly to UK Hospitality. And we're at the far end of the of lockdown, so we're going to be one of the last ones to come out.
Yes.
But there are some amazing initiatives and ideas coming out of how one can run restaurants. But it's the bizarre thing is that we speak to somebody. My Donna's parents in Australia. We have friends in LA, and we're going to be speaking to all of them, both today and tomorrow, and we're all in the same boat. From Australia to LA, in between, we're all in the same boat. It's the most weird time.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll come on to why you're here, and thank you for your time. And we've launched today Young Chef, Young Waiter. Theo is the chairman of the judges, of the chef judges. And we're going to be speaking to Simon as well at 4 o'clock, who is chairman of the waiter judges. And this competition, for anyone who's just sort of joined, is 41 years old this year. Some of the most amazing chefs have come through the whole, come through Young Chef, Young Waiter. People like Marcus Waring and Mark Sargent, Nathan Outlaw, amazing names, along with some great waiting names of Simon King, who's a winner. And we'll hear more from him and Simon Gerling and other people from the industry. And I just felt that with the way we developed it last year, with your help, Theo, by putting it all online until the end, actually works perfectly this particular time that we're in. It now means that your young chefs, I've just been on the phone with David Lowy, and David Lowy, of course, is D&D, part of the D&D ownership, David and Des, and he has already got his HR and people on board to get the young chefs and young waiters that are sitting furloughed at the moment to be involved.
Amazing.
It's by sort of default, it's worked perfectly for where we are right now. And it sort of doesn't matter, Theo, when the final is. The final could actually be next year if we wanted to be, or we could do it online. The most important thing is that people actively get involved. And right now we could be, I said to Sean earlier on, my manager, we could be oversubscribed with applicants because there's so many people out there, and it's such a positive message to send out right now. And I think, hi Rich, I spoke to you earlier on, Richard. And
hey, Richard.
I think some of the things that would be interesting to know, Theo, is what you thought of the competition in 2019. It was the first time we brought it back in this new style, and the way that, and the quality of the competitors and how it all works. Some of your sort of your memories and thoughts of it. I'm gonna have a glass of wine while you
enjoy that. Yeah, I've got a cup of tea, unfortunately. Listen, I've been judging this competition for many years. I think the first year I did it was when Phil Howard was the head of judges. I think it was back in 2004. And then there was obviously there was the gap for a few years, but it was it's such a brilliant competition. And having seen it then and having seen it now, there's still the same soul to it. It's still got the same positive feeling. And, it's so important for young chefs to get involved and young waiters to get involved in this kind of competition because it makes them better. I think what we did last year was brilliant because we kind of sort of turned it on its head. We did all the judging in the kitchen. We had all that amazing food, which was just one extraordinary display of food. So there was no sort of specific ingredient they had to use, which I think really shows, the skills of a good chef by actually, taking them out of their comfort zone and saying, right, that's what you've got. Choose something, make a really good meal out of that. We were fortunate enough to have some amazing talent. I mean, Richard obviously was brilliant, the winner, but there was so much talent in that kitchen on day one and day two. And, I'm delighted to be involved again. I remember the first sort of few hours before the chefs came in the kitchen, and Sean and I were running up and down the stores at Westminster College, and I was so worried. I think I was more worried than the chefs were, because I just want to make sure they had their best opportunity to do well and have all the right ingredients. And I was trying to get these ingredients together. And I think Richard at one point said to me, I shouldn't really be asking you to be getting me some smoked salt or some paprika or something. And I said, don't worry, this is what I'm here for. But it was, I really enjoyed doing it. And I'm really looking forward to judging 2020. I'm sure there's going to be some amazing talent again.
Oh, Theo, it's great. Look, we're a passionate group in this industry, and you speak with passion always. Any chef is. I remember Sean came to me and he said, Theo wants some seps and some mushrooms and whatever it was. Well, can't we get some from like Bid Food or whoever it is? He said, no, we've got to go and get them. And so he came back. I said, did you get some? He said, yeah, it's £300. It's £300 worth of mushrooms. How many mushrooms has he bought? My wife just put the dogs out, so they're going to be barking at my head a minute.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of the chefs at the time. I have to say, it was you kind of try and give them the best chance and the best ingredients.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. It's fantastic. You'll have to excuse Mike. We've got 3 little chihuahuas on the loose. They'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
But no, it was brilliant last year, and I'm really pleased that you're absolutely right. We kept the essence of the competition.
Yeah.
And again, I was speaking to Rich earlier on, and one of the keys were we wanted to make it a bit more up to date, a bit more sexy, a bit more vibrant, a bit more modern, a bit more dynamic, if all of those words are right. And I think we achieved all of those goals. We rebranded, we restyled, we went about it in a slightly different way. The judges, had no idea who those finalists were when they walked into the kitchen on the first day, because everyone was dressed exactly the same. Hi Theo, it's been ages. Love and kisses, Mandy. Hello.
Hey, Mandy.
Anyway, there was no kisses there, just love and Mandy. And it was we revamped it, restyled it, and it was so much fun to see their passion, but also we built some incredible relationships. And one of the keys to the competition is that we go through the first phase, which is the knockout phase, and I was a bit X Factor-ish. You remember we came in and you had 32 finalists, and we go from 32 to 16, and then we get down to I think it was 12, 6, and 6. But those 6 are paired then with a waiter. So the chef and the waiter have never met each other until literally 24 hours before, almost. And then they're paired together and they have to work as a team. And that's the secret of Young Chef, Young Waiter. I think it's that wonderful team spirit that waiter now and the chef come together, they work on the menu, they look at what they're going to do, and then they have to serve 24 VVIPs, sponsors, and everybody else, So I think that bit is the key that we kept, I think, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, I think getting that kind of the whole thing delivered on time that's the hardest thing. But they did so well. I mean, we're giving them 5 minutes to plate each course up, and everyone kept their timings. It really is a difficult thing to do, a competition. I mean, when you're a judge, I really feel for some of these kids. I mean, there really is. There's a lot of pressure on. And there's one point when sort of Team A were kind of watching Team B cook in the semi-final, and I just had to say to the guys, listen, they're under enough pressure as it is. Just get out of the kitchen. You can't. You've got to. You're going to make them upset. It's not good. Yeah. So you can see the pressure was on there, but it's such a nice competition in the end, and the the friendships between the waiters and the kitchen, the chefs, is so important, and that was what's so nice, that they brought them all together. And I remember Richard saying about how his waiter had brought him a bottle of water before and said good luck, and that kind of thing is crucial. It really is crucial, and in our industry, I mean, in any normal day in a restaurant, you've got to be. We're one team, and that was what really came across in Young Chef, Young Waiter.
Well, as I said, I think that we're in, well, not think we are in extraordinary weird times, but yeah, it is. I think you agree that the most important thing now is to keep everyone's spirits high. Look, me, I'm super positive about everything. Yeah. In fact, I've got a guy here who's sort of, God knows where he's going to go now. But and I think it's the perfect time, as I said earlier on, to launch something like this. We've got super young talent at the moment, and they may be picking asparagus. They may be out there doing other jobs, or they may be just sitting inside, but whatever they're doing, we want them to still think about where they're going to go tomorrow and what they're going to do tomorrow. And this gives this young talent the most amazing opportunities. You would have seen people go through, you've been doing this since 2004. I have. I was one of the judges with Phil Howard in those days. And we've had amazing judges. You can think, everybody who we could talk about has been a judge within Young Chef, Young Waiter at some point through those years. And And I think as we go forward, what you don't know is one of the things we're trying to do as well, Theo, is we're going to get this section underway, as in Young Chef, Young Waiter UK. But we're also trying to bring two other elements into it, which is the Chinese, a Chinese group, which is, in other words, Young Chef, Young Waiter China, but within the UK, and Young Chef, Young Waiter South Asia, we're calling that, which is, you know, because there are, if it's Indian, Bangladeshi, Nepalese, etc., that group, and we're trying to have those two communities all being involved as well at two separate competitions. So we'll have Chinese and we'll have what we call South Asia. And ultimately we can then have another part of this, which will take our winner, the Chinese winner, the South Asian winner, to have a final.
Wow.
And don't forget the other part that we're not doing this year, which was going to be, you were very much involved, of course, is that the power of hospitality in this country. London is recognised as a food and hospitality capital of the world. The power of hospitality was that the Department of International Trade, along with Expo, had basically taken this competition to showcase hospitality at Expo 2020 in Dubai.
Yeah.
That was going to be, I mean, the most amazing. I mean, that just 1 year of us launching, we had arranged that. Now, that will still happen in 2021. That's all on, the whole plan is on as well. And one of the other things that is really, really exciting, and I've got a phone call with them as well a bit later, is Mercedes, of course, have put up to the winners. So if any young chef, young waiters looking out there right now, have put up to the winners, and you can win a Mercedes each for a year, including all your insurance and everything else. It's a wonderful A-class AMG, I believe. It's absolutely amazing, and you'll see that in next week's application form. So you can see the way that business, government, and brands use hospitality, because it's one of the biggest employers in the country, bringing billions into the government. But you can see how, you know, the opportunities, if you think, Theo, of a young chef and young waiter today, certainly a lot different than when I started. You're not as old as me, thankfully, but certainly not different than when you started. You know, the opportunities, and you can see the opportunity just for Rich, the way he's now at a potentially a Michelin star restaurant, obviously with Michelin star chef. I'm not quite sure how that is going to work this year with the Michelin rating, although we're quite involved with that as well. But the opportunities are amazing as they go forward, aren't they, right now?
Incredible. I think, you know, and Rich, going back to Rich, you know, winning in 2019, you know, he has got an amazing attitude, and he's got a very calm persona, and I think he'll do really, really well. And Tom Aikens is a brilliant chef, you know, really brilliant, and been a judge for a young chef, young waiter for many, many years. I think he'll do really well at Muse. And, you know, I think it's about getting that opportunity. You know, you win the competition, you don't waste that opportunity, and you just use it as a stepping stone. I mean, look at Mark Sargent, look at Marcus. You know, they've all done incredible thing, and Simon, you know, the waiters. So it's a great opportunity, and I'm sure Rich will, you know, take it to the next level. And, you know, being given that this competition is giving people the chance to really, you know, make a great career in the hospitality industry. And, you know, whatever's happening now is going to be difficult, and we'll come out of this, and the landscape will look different, but we will come out of it, and we'll have we'll have the greatest culinary talent in the world based in the UK.
And, you know, one of the other things that Rich said that he really enjoyed was the different, if you like, the different demographic of judge. So we had Ruth Hanson, who's obviously on Great British Menu right now, along with Tom Aikens, along with you as chairman, but also bringing in a lovely selection of judges. So it wasn't old school. It was modern, up to date, young chefs with their own styles, you know, developing their own skills even now, but looking at equally at competitors, sometimes older than the judge. But I thought that was really quite, again, a unique way of showing the young chefs that this is, you know, your food that you're developing is seen by people who are equal. They're going to look at that. They're going to, they could even aspire to what you're doing the other way around. So the judge is actually, wow, that's amazing what he's doing. But it's actually just bringing that wonderful selection of judges. You know, we have an amazing pool of judges out there that will be judging online. But to bring in some Sanjay from Koya and you know, some of the great judges that we had on the day.
Yeah.
And that was really, really, I think, another key part that we will continue with. And it may well be that Rich could be a judge, you know, I mean, and we bring in we're bringing that youth to this youthful competition.
I think that's a great idea. I think Rich should definitely be a judge for 2020 because, you know, having that, he can, having had that experience and know the pressure they're under would be good. And I would very much like to judge alongside Rich and get his feedback on it. It would be very good. But what was great was that it was kind of fun as well. You know, I mean, we had that, you know, one of the big sponsors was Wall's Magnum ice cream and had to recreate, use a Magnum in their dessert, which was a tart tatin, the semi-final. And I remember saying to the guys, listen, guys, you know, you've got to put a Magnum into your recipe. And all their faces went sort of white and like, you know, how am I going to do that? But I remember seeing Rich's Magnum tart tatin, which was just genius. I'll never forget that. And I remember thinking, this guy really is, you know, it's up there as well. It's not just about the skill; it's about adapting to a situation. And it was real fun sense. You know, he was playing, and that's what was really interesting. I mean, I think that thing of also having all those ingredients, you know, to pick kind of made it even more interesting. There wasn't, I think in previous years there was like a mystery box and they all had the same ingredients. You pretty much had the same dish but done different ways or inspired by the restaurants. You know, they had choices of duck, or, you know, they had a sea bass, or they had guinea fowl. You know, they had all those different things which they could use their skills to prepare. And, you know, chefs under the age of 26, and the food that they were cooking, the standard, particularly in the final, was just incredible.
Amazing, those puddings they did. And you know, I thought that the idea of the larder, we had a big larder, didn't we?
Yes.
With all different...
with 300 pounds worth of mushrooms.
But we had, you know, a beautiful larder of fresh produce, and they could go and pick, and they could... So they had the base ingredients, and then it was for them to adapt it the way they wanted to adapt it. And that shows their flair, And I think that's, again, the way the competition changed, you know, your knowledge of how we can twist it, change it, keep the essence, but really bring it up to date in a modern competition. And I think it's only going to go from strength to strength, the way we've done that. We've already had, what does it say? You need your own YouTube channel, Theo.
That could be arranged.
I love all this Insta Live. Do you do much of this Insta Live, by the way? Are you doing much of this?
Yeah, well, I've been doing a few cookery demonstrations in my kitchen for some of our sort of clients, and you know, so it's I enjoy it. It's fun. I mean, it's just nice to do something, you know. I mean, I'm writing a new book at the moment, so that's been keeping me very busy. And we just got to the point of, you know, I had a lot of recipes to write when we went into lockdown, so I've sort of been doing that and cooking for neighbours and, you know, vulnerable family members. So I've been very, very busy, and doing some charity stuff as well for Great Ormond Street Hospital. So yeah, it's been a busy time, but I this kind of thing I love.
Well, Theo, you would be interested in the fact that I'm actually equally doing some cooking online at the moment.
I've seen, and I was quite impressed, I have to say. You've got a very nice kitchen.
We've got a great kitchen. I'm in it now. We do have a great kitchen, and for you to say you're impressed, the only thing out of all this, if I just keep that tiny bit, that Theo Randall is impressed with my cooking, I am super, super happy. You've made my day now. In fact, I have to tell you, I had Richard Shepherd, who obviously, who called me. He said, I've been seeing some of your videos. And I said, oh yeah, I've been waiting for, you know, an absolute barrage of abuse to come out. It's all right, isn't it? I said,
you're not bad, are you?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm having fun, and Donnie and I are having fun, and it's been great. We miss you in Hong Kong, Theo. It says I've got Donna's big eyes, so I can read all this stuff. And I'm watching you cook. I said, Mandy is also watching me cook, which is marvelous. Theo, this is fun and it's brilliant to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. I am so pleased that you're involved. You're as chairman of the judges again. Thank you. I can't tell you how much I thank you for that. But more than that, I'm really pleased that we've managed to get this competition off. I think it is within our sort of press launch. You know, I said it's a perfect competition at the perfect time.
Yeah.
It really is out there now for young chefs, young waiters to grab hold of it, to enter. Everything's online for them all the way through till November. You know, they've got until the 1st of September to enter, so they've got plenty of time. You'll let your young chefs and waiters know, along with everyone else. And, and I'm so looking forward to it. I'm really excited about it, actually. And I think we really need it right now.
Absolutely. And also what was brilliant about last year were the presentation videos that all the chefs and the waiters did. And watching them online, it was actually pretty inspiring hearing them and listening to what they had to say and what their sort of daily job was. So I think, you know, just don't be put off by that, because it really is, it's very easy to do. And it's just, you know, talking to your phone essentially. But what came across was magic. I mean, there's some real
phones all the time.
Yeah, I know, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's got a second nature now. I know, but it really gave you a real sense of what that person was like. You could read as a CV and, you know, 10 CVs and not get an idea of the person. But on this, the presentation, it really made you understand that person.
And for everyone out there, you know, the judges, and there's some amazing judges that we have, and you can see them on Young Chef, Young Waiter website. So the judges don't know where you come from. So, so your videos come in, and this is open to young professionals, 26 and under, from all walks of hospitality. So, you know, have a go, you know, from whatever angle. This is not all, it's not all about Michelin stars. You know, if you're a great chef in the pub, if you're a great chef in contract catering, wherever you come from, you know, have a go. You'll never know how you get on until you try.
Yeah, and also with the waiters as well, it's about personality, and you know how good your personality is. I mean, okay, there's obviously some skills, but you know, it's all about your person is if you like to cook, then you should enter. That's the key thing. And if you like to be, if you like it, you know, do well in hospitality, you should enter as a young chef, young waiter as well.
Well, I'm going to be I've got Simon coming on at 4 o'clock, and so
I'll watch that.
Run through the waiters. Theo, thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
And great to be launching Young Chef, Young Waiter. All right.
Look forward to it.
See you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.